All right, do you believe that one, we're talking about regeneration preceding faith. So do you believe one is raised to new life so as to have faith?
Yes.
Okay. But in Colossians 2:12, it says you were raised with him through your faith. So it sounds like through faith means that's the instrumental means by which we're raised with Christ. How do you explain something like that? And I'll give you a second to open it up if you need to. Colossians 2:12, and I'm quoting, you were raised with him through your faith. So it seems to me, even if you believe that faith is irresistibly or effectually given to the elect, it still is the instrumental means by which one is raised. So it must logically precede the being raised, at least in Colossians 2:12.
Having been buried with him in baptism, in which you were also raised with him through faith, in the powerful working of God, who raised him, being Christ, from the dead. And you, who were dead in your trespasses and the uncircumcision of your flesh, God made alive together with him, having forgiven us all our trespasses. And your question is saying, you believe that Colossians 2:12 is saying that through faith, that faith is ultimately what gains us that raising.
It's the instrumental means by which we're raised, because it says through faith. It doesn't say you're raised unto faith or you're raised in order to have faith. It says you're raised through faith. So faith seems to be the instrumental means by which we're raised, which is one of the reasons I think maybe George Whitefield and others don't believe in pre-faith regeneration, but they're Calvinists. And they hold to a different view that says ultimately that we're something else like an effectual calling precedes our becoming believers, but that regeneration itself doesn't come until after we actually have faith in God.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's just multiple other texts that would say precisely the opposite. I think there are other texts that speak of
What do you think is
again.
the best text that clearly teaches that faith that regeneration, being made alive, precedes?
I think there are multiple, but I think
faith.
John 3 is a great one. John 3:3-7. Nicodemus, you must be born again to even see the kingdom of God, much less enter it. That you must be born of the flesh, but also you must be born of the Spirit, this new birth.
So you think seeing the kingdom of God is equal to receiving Christ so as to enter the kingdom of God?
Yes. Yeah.
And
you have
on what
to
basis?
see it. Both are mentioned, seeing and entering. So it's not just seeing, but what Jesus says to Nicodemus is that you must be born again to see, and then later on he also says and enter. And so yeah, I think entering the kingdom of God to see it and to enter it, I think that is indicative of faith.